All right, RPGaDay 2026, day 6. Making the last faction in our little world building project we're doing here. So, as per usual, we're going to start with rolling on the charts for monster level, dungeon level 10 on Fiendfolio, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual 2 to see what we get. And we get 11, or that will also be 2 on the Monster Manual 2. So on the Monster Manual 2 is Demon Prince. We've had one of those, but we'll take a look at the others and see what we get. 11 on Fiendfolio is a Beholder. And 11 on DMG is also Beholder. So we'll go with Beholder for this leader. And now we will roll and see what the terrain that this faction will be living in or based in. And that's 5, so that will be desert. So we have managed to roll 6 times on a chart of 10 and not get a repeat from that. And now we'll roll for followers and minions. We get an 82 or 10. So on the DMG, that 82 gives a Sphinx. So write that down, Sphinx. And on Fiendfolio, that is going to give us that's dragon type, not the random encounter table. Here we are. That is also a Sphinx. And then Monster Manual 2, where that will translate into a 10. That's going to be Spider, large, or huge. So looking at the dungeon level 9 entries to see if we get some sort of lieutenants from there. DMG will give us Vampire. Fiendfolio will give us an Umber Hulk. That would be an interesting addition, I think. And the Monster Manual 2 will give us a Diva, a Movanic Diva. So divas are good creatures from the outer planes, so that's not going to work there. So let's look at another level down on the monster charts and see if we can find some sort of a soldier-like creature. Our other factions have had things like hobgoblins and trolls and ogres. So see if we can get some kind of an army. We have an army of whatever following us creature. So keeping that 10/82, going down to monster level 8, we've got Rust Monster from from Monster Manual 2. Fiendfolio gives us Trapper, and Dungeon Master's Guide, I'm betting that's probably also a Trapper, but it might be a little different. Vampire. So probably also not fitting in that category. Let's look at back on the random encounter, outdoor random encounters, see if we can get a mass creature with that 82 from there. We have got from the Monster Manual 2, that will give us the huge or giant spider again. From the Dungeon Master's Guide, that gives us Still on Sphinx on that one. And on Fiend Folio, we will get also still Sphinx. All right. So let's roll again. 38 or 11. So 38 on still on Fiend Folio. We get Kinku. We had them for another faction earlier. Dungeon Master's Guide is going to give us a lion. And Monster Manual 2 is going to give us Jackal. It doesn't look like there's a lot in the desert in terms of the larger groups of creatures. There's men and there are humanoids on a couple of the charts. So let's go with the men was about 10% and the DMG, and the humanoids is about 7%. So let's roll a D20 here and ignore any results above 17, and 1 through 10 will be men. We got an 8, so we'll go with some type of men. So let's roll on our subtables. We got Sphinx subtable and a men subtable here. So on the Sphinx subtable, we're going to get 38 again. And so that will be a Androsphinx. And then on the men subtable, we're going to get a 91. And that will be Tribesman. So now turning to our Midnight Muscadines cards, we've got get an attitude, and that attitude is hostile angry. And then we get our morale, unshaken. Complication for this faction is split focus. The advantage, animal companion. And then the action is arranging. And the subject or object, the arranging, is going to be either elder or a costume. So an animal companion, let's see, what do we have any animals? I guess we could consider the huge spiders an animal. Let's give it one more roll on one of our random tables and see if we get some suitable animals here. 68. That brings up men. Let's see if maybe this could be an animal pulled from another terrain. It doesn't have to necessarily be a desert animal. 68. Porcupine or skunk. I like that. All right. So let's say porcupine. It'll probably be a giant porcupine, maybe. I think there are stats for a giant porcupine in the monster manual. All right, so that is our 6th and final faction in this little world building adventure we're going on here. Thank you for listening. Check out the other great content on RPGaDay 2026, and have a great day.